You guys with me here? Are you guys able to hear me okay? Okay, cool. So, yeah, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand nearly doesn't happen because these guys are not exactly global, uh, you know, what's the word that I'm looking for? Globally renowned assassins or something like that. They're kind of just young guys who are desperate and they're trying to send a message to Austria that their interference in the Balkans is not going to be tolerated. And they do this by assassinating Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And this is really significant because going back to our lecture here, all right, Kaiser Wilhelm II, the Emperor of Germany, after the Archduke of Austria, remember that Germany and Austria-Hungary were in an alliance with one another. They were in the Triple Alliance along with Italy at this time. When the Archduke gets assassinated, Germany pledges its unwavering support to Austria to punish Serbia for assassinating their Archduke. Okay? And this is known sometimes in history as the blank check. If you don't know what a blank check is, that's when you take a check from like a checkbook and you fill it out, but you leave the value blank so that whoever fills out the check can write in whatever amount they want. And so basically, Germany says, Austria, we have your back no matter what you choose to do in this scenario. And of course, Austria is going to choose to punish Serbia, okay, for assassinating their Archduke. So what happens in the month between June 28th and July 28th, 1914, is that Austria makes these extremely harsh and frankly unrealistic demands on Serbia by requiring Serbia to punish all forms of anti-Austrian sentiment and to participate in joint judicial proceedings against anti-Austrian activity. And eventually, here's the thing, they're only given a month. Basically, Austria comes up with this giant list of demands that they're going to place on Serbia. Serbia takes a look at this list and says, okay, well, we can meet most of these demands, but we can't realistically meet all of the demands. And Austria basically says to Serbia, no, you will meet all of the demands that we have placed on you, or you'll go to war, not only with us, but with Germany. And that's the real threat, because Austria is bad enough to go against in a war. But if Austria has Germany's support, and Germany's kind of like this rising military power in Europe at this time, if Germany comes into this conflict, it could really spell a lot of disaster for Serbia, and it would pull Russia into the war as well. And so Austria makes these demands. Serbia says, look, we can agree to most of the terms, but we can't agree to the judicial proceedings that the Austrians wanted adjudicated by the International Tribunal at The Hague. And so they don't agree to that. And as a result, shortly thereafter, when Serbia reaches the deadline that they had been given by Austria to meet all of these demands, and here you can see, here's the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, here is Gavrilo Princip, the guy that assassinated both Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophia. Here you see a number of European leaders. Including you have Kaiser Wilhelm II up here, okay, Kaiser Wilhelm II. You have King George V of England down here. And by the way, these guys are related to one another, all right? These guys are actually cousins of one another, and soon their nations will be going to war against each other in World War I. And so you have all of these wealthy, noble, aristocratic leaders of these old empires of Europe who are soon going to find themselves on opposite sides of an international conflict known as World War I. So the immediate causes of World War I, basically war declarations. After Serbia fails to accommodate Austria's demands, Austria declares war on Serbia, and that's on July 28th, 1 month exactly after the Archduke had been assassinated. And on July 29th, Austria begins bombarding Belgrade, which was the capital of Serbia, and this represented the first military aggression of World War I, is when Austria begins attacking Belgrade. And in response to this, Russia, because Serbia is being attacked, Russia mobilizes its armies against Austria and Germany because Germany had pledged to support Austria in whatever it decides to do with the blank check agreement. And France, in response, mobilizes on Germany's western border because France was allied with Russia. And so we can see here that because of this conflict between Austria and Serbia over the Balkans, we end up pulling in Germany, Russia, France. Soon thereafter, Britain gets involved, and so on. And so it's a giant stack of dominoes that starts progressively falling over after the Archduke is assassinated, and this is the immediate cause of the war that pulls everybody into the conflict across Europe, even though it's about this tiny little conflict in little Serbia that the rest of Europe really had relatively little to gain from becoming involved with. But they nonetheless go to war with one another, and it results in just, unprecedented chaos. Okay, unprecedented chaos. World War I pulls all of these different intricate webs of alliances into the fold, and they all start going to war with one another over what? Over Serbia. It seems almost pointless, but nonetheless, the history is what it is. And these nations get involved, and very soon thereafter, not only are the European nations involved in fighting one another, they start to pull in their colonial populations. So people from Africa, people from India, people from Southeast Asia, and so on, start to get pulled into this conflict, and they're now fighting alongside the empires that control these colonies. So now the colonial subjects are pulled into the war. So this becomes a very global conflict where basically everybody around the globe gets embroiled in this massive war about this nationalistic sentiment in Serbia and the conflict in the Balkans. And folks, that is where we will leave the lecture off today. I apologize for kind of the intermittent troubles that we had when my stream got shut down today. But please do go on to Canvas. There will be a new vocab assignment, and I'll extend the vocab that was due for today I'll make it until like 2 p.m. today. You can get that handed in, and then please do just go on there and make sure that you get the vocab for today done by Friday morning. I'm sorry, I'll make it due Monday. Give you a little more time to do it. All right, but we will reconvene here tomorrow at our usual time on Friday morning, and we will see you all back here for that. Have a wonderful rest of your day.